No, St. Patrick's Day. All right. Happy March, you guys. It is March Coffee with Coach. We are starting now. I'm very loud today. Oh, I forgot to put something down so it wouldn't be quite so loud. Sorry, it's going to be loud today. Hi, guys. Can you hear me? All right. So I'm shuffling our angel cards. As you guys come in, say hi. I will stop over and say hi to you. Hello, hello. Hi, party people. What's up? I see you. Come say hi. I can't say hi if you don't say hi first. I mean, I love you, but I'm not omnipotent. Can't do it. All right. So for March, I'm going to pull us an angel card for today. This is going to be kind of a workshop-esque coffee with coach, but you can also ask me anything that pertains to overwhelm. Your coach is in. Do you remember that thing they used to do in Peanuts when Lucy would show up and be like, the psychiatrist is in, but I'm not sure. Except now we're going to say the coach is in. All right, but no 5 cents. You just get to come on in and ask your questions. All right, so here we are. I am pulling an angel card for March, Overwhelm. The reason I'm doing Overwhelm this month, one, is I'm hearing it from a lot of people. And I had one of those weekends where it just felt like there were so many loose ends. Do you guys know those moments where you're like, there's so many small things. There's so many small things. Hold on. Hi, guys. So sorry. I have a message over you. Hello. Hey, Zeus. Hey, Alex. Hi, Anna. Love that you guys are saying hi. Thank you for doing that. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so it was one of those weekends where I found a lot of loose ends, just a lot of little like scraggly things that needed to get cleaned up. Minor announcement. You might notice sarahwalton.com looks different. Yes, formal email coming. But yeah, sarahwalton.com got a makeover. Amazing. All right. Ooh. Well, I did not expect this. I swear to God, I don't do this on purpose. Today's angel card is, drum roll, please. Okay. Can you see this? Oh, don't focus on my face. Focus on that. Can you guys see what that says? It says blessing in disguise. And thank you for the congrats, Suze. Is it back on my face? Is it? Oh, it is. Yay. All right. So here, I'm going to read this to you guys. Blessing in disguise. What appears to be a problem, overwhelm, is actually part of your answered prayer. You'll understand the reasons behind your present situation as everything resolves. Trust in heaven's protection and infinite wisdom to answer your prayer in the best way. You know what I love about this? Can you guys see the angel card? Do you see how messed up her hair is? I love that. She's like, what in the actual heck is going on here, people? Right? I love it. I love it. All right. So, blessing in disguise. I think there are times overwhelm can be a blessing in disguise, right? It might mean that your business is taking off. It might mean that there is more pull for your attention, right? Because people need you in a new way. It could mean you're leveling up. So you need to kind of beef up some skills to be able to handle more without feeling overwhelmed. Hint, delegate. But it could also mean, this is my actual definition of overwhelm, is that you're not clear on which steps you need to take next. So I thought today would be a great day to talk to you about how to do that. So if you do not yet have your journal, I'm going to ask you to go get it. Oh yeah, we'll wait. Or while you're out, can you get a handy dandy pen too? This will help. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah. You guys, I can't believe it's March already. So I'll give you guys a hot second to go get a journal and a pen. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up my notes because that's what I do. That's how I roll. All right. So the very first thing we're going to do, because I do think it's clarity. Okay. I do think we're usually overwhelmed because we don't know what to do first. And that can cause a feeling of like cloudiness. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of like fuzzy and like, what am I supposed to help? Right. And that's what happens. I think that's really when we get overwhelmed because you guys, how capable are you? I mean, can we just take a hot second? How effing capable are you? You do so many things on a daily basis. There's no way you can't get the most important things done. I just don't buy it. And I mean that with so much love. That experience of overwhelm happens when we don't know which thing we're supposed to do first. And that is a lack of clarity. So today I'm going to really try to help you figure out which of the many tasks you have in front of you today, this month, maybe over the next quarter, which ones are actually important and which ones aren't. Hint, other people should be doing their laundry. What? I know, I'm so mean. Okay. So we're going to get clarity. Yeah. The first thing that you are going to write down, and this is not where most people start, and that's why this is so important, but the first thing you're going to write down is what you don't want. Okay, so I'm going to share a couple of mine that I jotted down yesterday. I was in New York City yesterday for a dance convention, and I was sitting on the third floor of the Hilton in Midtown, writing these down for you. Oh yeah, oh yeah, it was so fun actually. And I was listening to hip hop and I was dancing. Okay, so what I don't want a job where like I have to sit down at a desk all day. I don't want to vacuum. I hate vacuuming. I got myself a Roomba. Her name's Lucy. She messes up sometimes, but I named her Lucy so I could say, Lucy, you got some splaining to do. But I also like to say, Lucy, I'm home. I have issues. Anyway, I don't want to vacuum. I got Lucy. I do not want anyone else controlling my finances. Yeah, those of you that have been with me for a while, you know my number one value is freedom. Okay. I I do not want anyone interfering with my passions. Is that crazy? I was like really getting serious with myself. I'm like, what do I not want? The other thing I don't want, and this hit me really hard, is I don't want conversations that don't move my life forward, which really surprised me. I didn't expect that I would write that down, but I don't want to be stuck in conversations about shoes. I love them, but I don't want to talk about them all day. I don't want to be talking about the best way to dye your hair. I don't want to, oh God knows I could probably use them. Anyway, I don't want to necessarily be having conversations about which curtains I should put in the dining. Do you know what I mean? Like these things don't matter to me as much. They're fun. They're great. But I'm at a moment right now, I think after coming out of 2022, and it was so challenging and it was such a year of survival for my family and for me, that I'm really in a creative mode. Like right now, someone has just invited me to a week-long meditation retreat, and I'm working my assets off to get there because that's a conversation I want to have. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just right now. I'm not saying forever, but I'm very clear that I do not want to be spending time on things that aren't like that, things that are not moving my personal development forward, that aren't moving my business forward, and aren't moving my ability to teach you guys stuff forward. I hope that's making sense. So go ahead, take a hot second. I'm going to jump back to you guys so I can see any questions you have. Hey, Clara, what's up, beauty? What do you guys not want? Can you just take a hot second and write that down now? If you want to share in the chat, that would be amazing because then we can get more of a feel and you might spur ideas for somebody else, which is always awesome. What was the other thing? There was one more thing. See, now I don't have my notes in front of me. Sorry, there was one more thing I thought on the way home. Is that funny? I'm in the car. I'm like, oh, and another thing I don't want. Oh, I don't want to fly coach anymore. I said it out loud. I did. I just don't. I mean, I will, right? Like sometimes you just gotta, but like I just don't enjoy that experience anymore. I used to love it so much. My parents got divorced, you guys, when I was only 18 months old. My dad was in LA and my mom was in Salt Lake City. So as a child, I was flying all the time, like all the time. I think it was once a month we'd go to LA, my brother and me. And so I was flying alone sometimes at age 5, age 6. Do you know how magical it was back then? Like I remember having seats that were big enough that I could move to the side when I'd spilled my peanuts and we could have peanuts too, which, hey, not allergies are real. I know. I just remember like that, like, oh, and I remember when they started the honey roasted. Oh, amazing. Anyway, but I'd spilled one time and there was enough room for me to actually move over and look in my seat. I don't know. Maybe I've just grown. I don't think so. I think the seats are smaller. Right. But it used to be such a joy. I loved it. I don't like it anymore. It's not fun anymore. It's like this thing we have to survive or slog through. I don't want it to be like that. I love to travel. So that was another thing I wrote down. I'm sorry that I didn't write down, but that came to me as I was driving home. Conversations that don't move you forward. You like that one, Clara? Yeah. And a delegation is a learned skill too. I love that. That's right. It absolutely is. And you guys know, by the way, as you're writing your list, just listen to me in the background. But one of the ways that we can delegate, I think this is so important, is if you are starting, as we start to get clear today on what's actually important and what isn't as important, if you have something that's truly important, but it's not your like forte, shall we say. I'm getting very sophisticated on a Monday. I feel very proper. But if it's not your forte, right, you can find somebody who absolutely loves to do that thing. Okay. So the way I talk about this is your work should be a 10 for you. Meaning on a scale of 1 to 10, your work makes your socks roll up and down. Like it is a 10. Like it makes you so happy to do your work that it's like you would never delegate this part of your work because it's like, right? But then there might be something you need to get done. So for I know a lot of people, your newsletter, man, that is such like a heartache sore spot for you, right? Like you're like, son of a guy. There are copy editors, copywriters who are amazing out there. And doing that work is a 10 for them. Go find them. Right. And if you're like just starting out, I know I have a lot of solopreneurs that follow me. I have a lot of women who are just starting out. If you need to barter that in the beginning, do it, because that time you're buying back, it's everything. It's so critical because now you can take that time and put more of that time on your 10, which is going to have your business grow faster. Yeah. I hope that's making sense. Hi, Ilea. What's up, beautiful girl? I say I don't want to say no to every wedding RSVP because I'm already working that weekend. I love that. So we need to find ways for you not to work as many weekends. Is that what it is? Or do we need a calendar further out so you can plan the wedding sooner so you're not working that weekend? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying, Ilea, but let me know if I don't have that right. So good. So good. All right. So now that we're clear on what you don't, does anybody not have your don't list? Don't lists are usually pretty easy for us. I'm side eyeing you guys. Yes, better planning, Ilea says. Okay, yeah. So figuring out more like in the future, okay, these weddings are on these weekends. I'm not working these weekends because you don't want to say no. Or if the wedding's on the Saturday, I can't do Saturday, but I can do Sunday or whatever. Right. But working around that and having the power and the will, sometimes it's the will, right? Like it's like, oh my God, I have to work. I have so much to do. I have to get it done. That's overwhelm. We don't want to be in a state of overwhelm. We want to be in a state of control, and not control like force control. I don't mean like that, but like a state of control of like, oh, I've switched that lever. Saturday, I'm not working. That's just that lever switched. That kind of control where you just feel like it's a little bit more simplified for you. It's a little bit easier for you to understand where things need to be for you to flourish. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. So now we're going to move on to, I know you're going to be shocked. What do you think we're doing now? If we know what you don't want to do, what do you want to do? This can be harder for us than the don't list. If you're like me and you love to dream, I'm like, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. But I know for most people, this is actually a harder list to write. But what do you really want? What do you want to be spending your time doing? Like, honestly, if I could do live streams all day, probably would. Love it. Love it. And I'm actually in the middle, you guys. Okay. Kimono open. Yeah. One of the reasons I'm really talking about this is I am taking a deep dive look at all of our services and deciding which ones we're keeping and which ones we're not. And you can bet it's going to be the ones I love the most, right? Those are going to be the ones that we're going to be keeping and focusing on. Probably by the end of this year, you might see a couple of Sarah Walton offers starting to go away. Because I really want to do these ones and I can't do all of them. Right. I mean, I could, but I like to go to the movies once in a while. Yeah. So it's like, we got to start looking at like, really, what do you want to do? And you guys, this is hard. I'm not going to lie. Like, I love every single one of my offers. I don't create offers because I'm bored. Let's get that straight. Right. I love everything we do over here at Team Sarah. I really do. But that doesn't mean I should be doing all of it. That's hard, you guys. That is hard, but it's what responsible business owners do because you cannot live in a state of constant overwhelm. And that's what this exercise is designed to help you with. Yeah. Okay. So let's get going. Write your do list. Oh, why? It's always one piece, right? Okay. So what do you want to be doing? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes. What do you want to be doing? So for me, I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to say yes to meditation retreats. I really want total financial freedom. We're working on that one hard this year and next year. I want friends who want adventures with me, right? So love like the curtains in the dining room or what the shoot. That's all awesome. But what I'm actively seeking this year are other humans who want to go on these things with me, right? Maybe somebody who wants to hit every museum in Italy, or somebody who wants to do a meditation retreat, right? Or somebody who wants to do a wellness focused retreat in the south of France. I totally just made that up. If anyone knows of one, let me know, right? Like these are the kinds of things I want to start doing that. I want to start participating in the world in a little bit different way. Isn't that funny? That's what occurred to me too when I was really focusing on this. I was meditating on this lesson for you guys. And one of the things that came to me is I want to really enjoy this planet while I'm on it. We're not on this planet for very long, right? And I don't want to just keep doing the same things over and over and over. Of course, there's life things that need to happen and there's different phases of life, but I think I'm hitting a point in my own life where I really want to see what this planet has to offer, which means I might be doing live streams for you guys in Paris next time. I don't know, but that's on the list of things I want to do more of. The other things I want to do is I want to create books. I want to create more lessons and ideas for you guys that you can really take and use in your business right away. I want to be in loving, healthy relationships, all of them. That includes my children. That includes my parent, right? That includes friends and family. Like I want really loving, healthy relationships. I think those were my big ones. Okay, so I'm checking in with you guys. Zeus says, you want trips on and weekends out. There we go. That's what we're talking about, girl. I love it. I love it. Okay. Does everybody have, I just threw my mouse. Does everybody have their do list? I want to see. I want to make sure you guys are, not that you have to show them to me, but I want to make sure you guys have your do lists. Let's go. I love it. All right. Now, the next thing I would like for you to do right now, this one's going to take a hot second. I warned you guys today was going to be a little bit more like a workshop. So what I'd love for you to do now, okay, is kind of script out your average day. Like, how are you spending your time right now? Just do it quickly. You don't have to be like, well, at 7:02, I brush my teeth. At 7:03, like, no, we don't care about that. Like on an average day, what are you spending your time on? Ballpark it. Like, are you spending 2 hours cooking? Are you spending an hour cleaning? Are you spending 3 hours working? Which, by the way, is what most people do. Are you spending an hour writing? Are you spending an hour exercising or being outside in nature? How much time are you spending with your family? Just ballpark it for us. Go ahead and do that. Oh my God. Zeus just said the best thing. Oh, she wants to have enough time to think, enough space to think. Okay. I love that, Zeus. So let's work on your average day now. Let's chunk that down. Look at what you're actively working on right now. Let's get that down first and then we can dive deeper into that. That's so good. Oh, I love that. I might have to steal that. Have enough space to think. By the way, for those of you that don't know, that's what I do on Mondays. If you've ever tried to book an appointment with me on Monday, you'll notice it's not open. That's why. This is my think day. This is my writing day. This is my strategic day. This is my planning day. I love Mondays. Sometimes we use it to shoot videos too. But I really love Mondays and that's intentional planning, Zeus. So just something to put in the back of your head is like, ooh, maybe it's Tuesday mornings or something like that, where you actually actively give yourself that time. But for right now, I jump ahead because I get excited. But for right now, let's talk about what your average day looks like. So once you go ahead and jot that down, love it. Who is blowing up my, okay. Okay. All right. Keep going. Oh my God. I just got a notification. Technology's funny. All right. So now that you've kind of chunked out your average day, what I'd like you to do now, within reason, okay? We're not talking pie in the sky, like we're gonna craft your ideal day. Okay. This is not Brad Pitt wakes me up at 5 a.m. and I have a personal massage until 7. And that, like, no, not that kind of a day. That would be fun, but not that kind of a day. We're talking about like your ideal day inside your life now, right? So, like what we just said to Zeus, Zeus wants more space to think, or to really sort of strategically plan and think about what she wants in her life, think about how she wants to be in her business, think about strategy for the business, think about date nights with her husband, like really to strategize and think and be a person, God forbid, right? So it might be, I get up an hour earlier, I have the world's best coffee, and I spend an hour by myself just thinking. That might be her ideal day. I totally just made that up. She may be like, hell no, I'm not getting up earlier. I don't know. But this is where we're going with this. Like, what would you like your ideal day to look like? And let's get really serious about it. The questions I love to ask here are, what conversations would you be having? With whom would you be having said conversations? That's huge, right? Because who you spend your time with on a daily basis changes everything. You guys know this, right? Like spending time online with us here, That's spending time with us all together. This is a time for you to create and expand and develop yourself. That's a big deal. Not everybody does that, you guys. Not everybody says, "Hey, what can I do? Oh, by the way, it's free for a half an hour where I just focus on me." Not everybody chooses to do that, you guys. So I'm not saying, "Oh my God, you're so super special for being here," but you're so super special for being here. Like, this is not something everybody does. I want you to acknowledge that. And how can you do more of that for you? Is it reading more books? Is it listening to more podcasts? Is it studying more? Are there courses you want to be taking? Is there a local, university or community college or something like that where they're teaching classes? One of the things I loved about living in New York City, you guys, I used to go to the 92nd Street Y and take ballet classes and French classes. Like, what? Who gets to do that, right? Oh, you do. These things are around all over the place. And if it isn't in your local community or it's not somewhere you can find immediately, reach out to people and be like, "Hey, is there anyone out there who could teach me French?" Is there, like, start to create it and watch what happens. It's just amazing because other people will be like, "Oh my God, I've been looking too." And the next thing you know, there's 3 or 4 people in a class with you and you have your class because you created it, and you guys can support the teacher in whatever way you decide to do that, whether it's financially or with thank yous or whatever you decide to do. But these things are possible. And I want you to kind of think outside the box. Isn't it funny that we started talking about overwhelm and now I'm like, craft your perfect day? Crazy, right? The only reason we're able to do that is you got clear on what you don't want. And now you're starting to get clear on what you do want. And as soon as you have clarity, there's no such thing as overwhelm. Is that bananas? Because all of a sudden, what isn't important falls by the wayside. Okay. And if it's what isn't important to you is like vacuuming, like for me, I don't want to spend my time doing that. There are answers to that that can help you. Or there are people who, like me on the weekends, right? I love not on the day to day, I don't want to vacuum. But on the weekends, you cannot stop me from cleaning and organizing this house. I am crazy. I love it so much. And there are people who love it so much. That's what they do, right? That's their 10. That's something to delegate to someone who that's their 10. And there's a 10 for everything, you guys. Organizers, cleaners, piano players, writers, tech people. I'm trying to think of anything. Babysitters. That's like all they want to do is really help children develop and learn. And they love paying close personal attention to a child and teaching them the alphabet or teaching them another language or teaching them about object permanence. Like, stop it. Right? There are so many people out there who can work on these things that are tens for them. And now your overwhelm is just gone because you've turned over what's not a 10 for you to people who love it. We have a whole Sarah Uncut on how to figure that out. So you can go watch that if you'd like. But before you do that, you got to get clear on what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Yeah. So hopefully today's been super helpful. All right. So the next thing I want you to do now that you have your ideal day sort of mapped out, is I want you to take 2 or 3 things out of your ideal day, and I want you to put them in your calendar right now. Yes, right now. Except here's the caveat, right? You guys know how I feel about this, like your weapon of mass distraction, right? You don't have to look at my face the whole time I'm talking. It's okay. I know I do my makeup for you, but you don't have to look at my face. So you can go grab your calendar. Just don't get distracted. And if you are watching me on a laptop, I would prefer you use your calendar on your laptop. If what just happened? Use the the calendar on your laptop would be preferable, so that you don't pick up your weapon of mass distraction. Okay. Because anytime I tell you guys to go put something in your calendar, have you noticed you'll go off, right? Because you'll pick up your phone and there'll be a notification about, I don't even know. Someone liked that picture you posted of a baby giraffe. But that's not what you're focused on, right? And then you wonder why you're overwhelmed. And then you're sitting there and 20 minutes go by and you're like, wait, why did I open my phone? Yeah. Weapon of mass distraction. And that mass distraction leads you to feel overwhelmed because you don't know what to focus on. That's the whole point, right? Is you've got to know what you want to focus on, and not being clear on what you want and what you don't want is going to interrupt that. Yeah. Make sense? We're good. All right. I hope so. All right, you guys, let me know when you have that in your calendar because it's really, really important. And while you're doing that, I just have to say a huge thank you. You guys, March 10th, what day is it? It's the 6th today. March 10th, I met Oprah, 2020. There were 4 of us. I went with 3 girlfriends. There were 4 of us who flew to Colorado because Oprah was doing her I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I laugh now, right? Because Oprah was doing her 2020 vision tour about how 2020 was gonna give you perfect vision and see kinda did though, didn't it? I know. But it was the last stop on her tour. And we decided to go there. We were gonna be here in New York, and we were gonna go to the 2020 vision tour here in New York, where I believe Michelle Obama was the guest. And we wanted to do that, but we couldn't get tickets. It just didn't work out for timing. So we all looked at each other and said, should we go to Colorado and see her there? It's the last one, and she'll be with her best friend. And that's going to be the guest. And we were like, we should go to that one because we're friends and we're going to go see Oprah. So we got on a plane on March 10th, 2020, and like scoured down the plane with wipes and stuff and like did all the alcohol everywhere that we could ever breathe in at all. It was disgusting. And they literally sprayed us down before we could hug her, which is really funny knowing now that probably if any of us were sick, we would have gotten her sick. But anyway, that would not have been a good look. But I got to meet her and hug her and talk to her, and really spend some time with her. And then the entire world shut down 3 days later. And I remember as we were leaving, we were like, do we even go? All of us are moms. We're like, are we being so irresponsible? Like, what if we can't get back? We're like, we'll rent a car. We'll figure it out. We were not going to not see Oprah. And I think there's a lot to that level of intention and that level of focus. And you know what? You're not overwhelmed when you're in that mindset. Isn't that crazy? Like there we were with so much to do, so much going on. The world is starting to shut down, but we had an intention and we met it. And then we got home and shut down 2 days later. And that was the day I started Coffee with Coach. And I'm going to try not to cry, but I just want to say thank you. Talk about not being overwhelmed. I look back on that and recognize that I went live over 80 times and sometimes for over an hour. Based on what was happening in the news, based on how people were feeling, based on people who had lost people to COVID, who had passed away, the frustrations we were all feeling at still being locked down, Black Lives Matter coming up here in the United States. It was such an intense time, and it was such, I don't mean to sound cheesy. I really don't. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It was such a privilege. Talk about something I want to do. It was such a privilege to be able to spend that time with you guys over 80 times. I went live every single day for 4 months, which is kind of amazing. I look back on that and I'm like, where did that come from? And it's because I wasn't overwhelmed. I was crystal clear that that's what I was there to do. And there were times my kids needed me and I'd be like, I'll be right back. And people were joking. They're like, could you imagine joining this live? And there's just an empty chair. Like we had so much fun. You guys were so amazing. And it's the 3rd-year anniversary. Like this will be the 3rd year in March that we are hosting Coffee with Coach. So I really want to thank you guys for being here, and allowing us to keep it alive. And yes, we reuse this video. We take pieces out and we use it in other pieces of content, but I don't think there's anything better than showing up live. And if you have questions, to get them answered. This is a service I love to provide for you guys. I think it's so special. I don't know many coaches who just go live and say, ask me anything, but we go live and I say, ask me anything. And I absolutely love it. So thank you for being here. All right. So I hope today's class, coffee with Coach. I always get that wrong. Coffees with Coach, right? Because you can have multiple coffees, but I'm the only coach. Don't be alarmed. English is my first language. Don't be scared. Clara says, thank you, Sarah. You showed up for us for weeks. And I remember every morning during the lockdown, waking up and knowing that each day was knowing what each day was going to be. Yeah. And I was the consistent that we all needed. I think I was the consistent for me too, Clara. I mean, I really do. I think that was part of it. It really helped me, but it also, you guys, one of the reasons I want you to know what you want is it helps you see who you really are. And I think what that experience showed me, and the reason I still do Coffee with Coach the first Monday of every month at 10 a.m., because I went live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. The reason that I still do it is I know this is what I'm here to do. And that time showed me that because I was crystal clear that that's what I wanted to be doing. There was not a single morning where I was like, ugh, I have to do. It was like, all right, what are we talking about? What's going on? How do I get there fastest? Who needs help today? And that's what I'm here to do. And so I thank you guys for showing up and helping me learn that about myself so that I could continue to show up in new ways. And so I really appreciate that. All right, you guys. So I hope what you do today, now that you have a couple things in your calendar this week that you actually want to be doing, is I'm going to invite you on Friday morning to check in with yourself and ask, did you do this? Did you start to put in more of what you want? Were you able to delegate more of what you don't want? You guys, it sounds so simple, but this is your life. You keep letting weeks go by like that where you don't love what you're doing and you don't care what's going on and everything feels overwhelming and you're just treading water. You live your life like that, that's going to be your whole life. We have this mirage, this fantasy that today doesn't matter, right? It's fine, I'll do it tomorrow. Or it's okay that this week is bananas. Is it? Because when is it not going to be bananas? It's not going to stop until you declare it's stopping. You're not going to take control of your days and your time until you decide to take control of your days and your time. And the way that you do that is you get crystal clear on how you want to spend it and how you do not want to spend it. And if you don't know that, you will live in a state of overwhelm. You just will. Yeah? I hope that's clear. All right, Zeus says 3 years ago, I didn't even know that doing business was an option. Oh my God, Zeus, you're going to make me cry. Thank you for being there. I love you too. I love you too. And I'm glad you now know that having your own business is an option. It's pretty amazing, right? All right, you guys, I love you to bits. Have an incredible, incredible March. It's my birthday month, so we're going to have lots of fun. I think you guys are amazing. Thank you for letting me do what I love to do and get out there this week and create your week the way you want it and then watch that trickle out through the whole month. Yeah. All right. I will see you guys the first Monday of April. I love you to bits. Bye.